In a candid moment that has captivated fans across the globe, BTS's Jin has revealed the true reason behind his deep admiration for South Korean singer-songwriter IU, and surprisingly, it has nothing to do with her widely praised beauty. The statement, subtle yet sincere, has ignited new waves of speculation about the nature of their connection. During a behind-the-scenes interview released after the conclusion of his Are You a Hijinep tour, Jin was asked to reflect on artists he respects in the industry. Without hesitation, he brought up IU, not for her fame or appearance, but for what he described as an aura that brings peace. He elaborated, IU has this calming energy. It's not just her music or her voice, but the way she carries herself. There's something honest and healing in her vibe that stays with you even after the spotlight fades. Fans quickly picked up on the deeper implications of Jin's words. Known for being reserved about personal emotions and relationships, his decision to speak so openly about IU is seen by many as a rare moment of emotional vulnerability. Online communities began circulating clips of past interviews, award shows, and subtle social media interactions between the two, all in an attempt to trace the quiet evolution of their rapport. What makes this revelation even more compelling is the growing suspicion that the admiration might not be one-sided. IU's recent public praise of Jin's solo achievements, including his Spotify record and critically acclaimed world tour, came across to many as deeply personal. Her choice of words, describing Jin's journey as something I feel proud of almost as if it were my own, was enough to stir intense online debate. Could IU be reciprocating the very admiration Jin has now spoken about so openly? While both artists have remained silent on the growing buzz surrounding their rumored closeness, the emotional undertone of their public interactions continues to raise eyebrows. What began as mutual artistic respect has now blossomed into one of the most speculated dynamics in Korean entertainment. As fans dissect every interaction, lyric, and quote, one thing is certain: this is not just about two artists at the top of their game. It's about two people whose connection, rooted not in appearance or fame, but in shared emotional resonance, is quietly rewriting the narrative of what authentic admiration looks like in the K-pop world. Whether friendship, collaboration, or something more, the story of Jin and IU is far from over. Industry insiders have also weighed in, noting that Jin's appreciation of IU reflects a deeper maturity in how idols view each other in an evolving K-pop landscape. What Jin said about IU isn't your typical celebrity compliment, shared a former broadcast PD who's worked with both artists. It's not about visuals or public image, it's about energy, presence, and emotional depth. That kind of admiration is rare, and it usually comes from someone who's experienced hardship and growth. This growing emotional alignment between Jin and IU has led some fans to label their bond as kindred spirits, two artists who value authenticity over image, depth over display. While many celebrity pairings are built on surface-level PR stunts or fleeting collaboration teasers, Jin and IU's quiet, mutual respect feels more grounded, more deliberate. It's this subtlety that makes their connection so compelling and worth watching. Online fan discussions have intensified around potential joint projects, with hashtags like #JinXIU and #KindredSouls climbing trending lists. Even music analysts are taking note. If they ever collaborated, one critic wrote on X, it wouldn't be for virality, it would be for the art. Some even speculate that IU's lyrical style and Jin's soft emotional delivery could result in a historic ballad that blends their introspective sensibilities, adding further intrigue. Both Jin and IU are known for their deep involvement in the creative process. Jin wrote much of his Echo EP himself, while IU is lauded for writing and composing many of her own tracks. This mutual artistic autonomy strengthens the perception that, if they were to work together, the result would be honest, unfiltered, and emotionally rich, mirroring the very qualities that Jin said first drew him to IU. Whether their paths converge musically or remain quietly intertwined behind the scenes, Jin's revelation marks a powerful reminder of how true admiration transcends appearances. In an industry often obsessed with perfection and spectacle, Jin's respect for IU's positive aura reminds us that sometimes the deepest connections come from the unseen, the energy, the intention, the sincerity that lingers long after the music stops. Amid the whirlwind of fan theories and media speculation, what sets the Jin-IU connection apart is its complete absence of artificiality. Unlike many high-profile interactions in the K-pop industry, there's no evident marketing push, no forced variety show moments, and no scripted award show exchanges. Instead, what's unfolding is something organic, subtle nods, heartfelt comments, and a shared sense of artistry that resonates beyond the surface. Observers have begun referring to the dynamic as a slow-burn narrative, unfolding in real time and shaped not by headlines, but by respect. Jin, who spent years often overshadowed by louder personalities in BTS, is now emerging in his own light, one defined by emotional intelligence, vulnerability, and self-assured calm. IU, long praised for her lyrical sensitivity and soloist strength, has perhaps found in Jin a counterpart who understands the weight of creative solitude and the quiet pressure of being deeply admired yet often misunderstood. Their timing, too, feels serendipitous. Jin, having just completed a successful tour and solidified his position as a soloist, is at a reflective phase in his career. IU, likewise, is entering what many call her legacy era, focusing more on curating her discography and mentoring younger artists. In that context, Jin's admiration for IU's vibe, not just her accomplishments, feels like a recognition of emotional alignment rather than opportunistic praise. Fans, particularly those who have followed both artists for years, are responding not just with excitement, but with emotional investment. One viral fan post read, "Jin didn't fall for IU's fame. He fell for her soul." And IU respects him not for the numbers, but for the man he's become. Another fan wrote, "This isn't a ship. This is mutual admiration between two artists who've survived fame without losing their humanity." Whether this connection leads to collaboration, friendship, or simply remains a quiet resonance between two artists, the public has already felt its impact. In a year marked by noise and spectacle, Jin and IU are writing a different kind of story, one that values sincerity over show, quiet strength over viral trends, and above all, the kind of admiration that isn't broadcasted, but deeply felt. The buzz continues to build around Jin and IU's quietly profound connection. Even veteran commentators within the Korean entertainment industry are beginning to speak of the duo in reverent tones. One longtime cultural critic from the Korea Herald remarked in a recent column, "This isn't a headline romance or fleeting collaboration tease. This is the rare chemistry born when two artists see themselves in each other's emotional integrity." That emotional integrity is perhaps what resonates most with fans. Both Jin and IU have weathered storms, IU with the intense scrutiny that followed her transition from child star to critically acclaimed soloist, and Jin with the weight of being the emotional anchor in one of the most globally visible groups in history. Their artistry has always carried undertones of solitude, quiet reflection, and longing. So it feels almost poetic that they would recognize those same frequencies in each other. Speculation has only deepened following IU's recent appearance at a private industry screening of a short film scored by Jin. While there was no official press coverage, a few insiders leaked that IU stayed long after the screening ended, praising the emotional clarity of the soundtrack. Though unconfirmed, the detail has further fueled belief that IU isn't simply a supportive peer. She may now be Jin's quiet champion, appreciating him as an artist first, not just a celebrity. Meanwhile, Jin's artistic choices in recent months, selecting minimalist sets for his concerts, releasing handwritten lyrics, and dedicating songs to emotional honesty, have drawn comparisons to IU's own creative philosophy. The parallels are uncanny. Both prioritize introspection, both avoid overexposure, and both seem far more interested in longevity than momentary applause. It's no wonder that fans are calling this unfolding relationship, whatever form it may take, one of the most emotionally resonant in recent K-pop memory. It's a connection that doesn't demand attention, but still commands it. A connection where admiration speaks louder than rumors, where subtle gestures feel like declarations, and where music might be the deepest form of conversation between them. Whether they ever share a stage, a duet, or simply continue to exist in each other's artistic orbit, Jin and IU have become a quiet force, reminding us that in an industry built on noise, sometimes the strongest bonds are the ones forged in stillness.